On my left hand, I have covered in habanero, and my right, a knife. Which am I going to scratch with? Find out after the mid-roll. Welcome to Mythical Kitchen, where dreams become food. Today we are making the In-N-Out Animal Style Crunchwrap Supreme. We're taking two of my most beloved fast food items from two of my most beloved fast food chains, and we are smashing them together simply to find out if the theory is true that every food is better when it's in Crunchwrap form. If you're following along at home, we've broken the recipe down into 3 distinct steps, the time codes of which you can find right there. Why do I keep saying of which? It's like I think I sound smarter. The time codes of which you can find right there. Hey, good looking, let's get cooking. So the Crunchwrap Supreme, to me, is like the modern marvel of fast food architecture, right? Because you have all the hot ingredients, you have the beef and the nacho cheese on the bottom, and then you have a crispy layer of tostada shell in between that separates the cold ingredients of the lettuce, the sour cream, the tomato. So we're gonna try and do the same sort of architecture, but with In-N-Out ingredients. I know what you're saying, In-N-Out ain't got anything crispy because their French fries certainly aren't. Gotcha! So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the leftover French fries and then I'm just gonna run a knife through them, trying to kind of really get a fine dice on these portrados because I want to be able to mash them up with just a little bit of egg white and a little bit of flour for a sort of binding agent, kind of using my Bubby's latke technique. Keep chopping up these Franco Fritos, or freedom fries as I call them. Well, I shouldn't align myself with that. Nope, not freedom fries. The term French, at least as I have heard it, refers to the actual cut of the potatoes. And if you think of like a French cut green beans, they French cut potato, because frites were actually Belgian in nature, and every Belgian will slide into your comments if you make a how to make French fries video and they go, no, I am Belgian, you cannot make a French fries like that. That's my Belgian accent. No, you guys know any Belgians? Yes. No, you don't know no Belgians. Good. Just add the French fries to the bowl. You could also do this in a food processor, but I like really getting my hands on them. We're just gonna toss in egg white. All that's gonna do is bind it. You could probably do it without the binder, but I don't wanna. So we added flour, a little bit of baking soda. Just gonna go in there and kind of mash it with my hands. So I'm gonna mash the potatoes a little bit, leave some whole French fry bits in there, and all we're gonna do, we're gonna smash that onto a silicone-lined baking sheet. You can use parchment paper, you can use whatever. We're just gonna let this set up in the freezer for about half an hour, because then we're gonna fry it so this turns into that crispy layer inside of the tortilla. We have to be about 5.5 inches in diameter. Think about a tostada shell, that's about what it looks like. There's a lot to get through, stay tuned. All right, so if you see, we got this patty, it's kind of nice and half frozen. All we're gonna do, we got oil heating up, put about a 1/2 inch oil in a pan, and we're just gonna let it float there. Should fry up in about 4 minutes. Not should, it will fry up. I have to cook with more confidence. All right, this is done. So we're just gonna drain this on a rack, and then we're gonna hit it with a little bit of salt, and then, yeah, I should probably flip it. Ow. Hit that with a little bit more salt. We're gonna let that hang out, but now we have to make that spicy pickled habanero spread, and we're gonna do some fresh flour tortillas from scratch, because one of the problems with store-bought tortillas is they're never quite big enough to make the gigantic meals I want to eat. This is a real problem in my life, everybody. No tortilla is big enough to satisfy me, so I make my own. Let's get to it. We are making a flour tortilla. I mentioned they don't have like giant flour tortillas. I like a good old 14-incher, if you know what I'm talking about. And I'm just gonna go ahead and toss some butter. What are you guys talking about? I'm adding a tiny bit of leavening agent. I go back and forth on whether I want like a little bit of puffiness in my flour tortilla. And if I don't, this time, you know, I'm feeling a little puffy today. So the goal here is actually to get all of the butter coating all of the flour. It's like all of me and all of... You want the water to kind of soften the butter a little bit. Beat that up with a fork until we get a nice shaggy dough starring Tim Allen. And then we're gonna, did I get that right? Tim Allen, the shaggy dog? Boom, let's go. When it's all said and done, it shouldn't stick to your hands. It should feel really tacky and pliable because it's warm, but it should be able to fall off cleanly. Like you see, there's none stuck to my hands. And since we are going for really large, big ol' honking, impressive looking 14-inch tortillas, we wanna divide this into only about 3 pieces. So we got 1 and 2, 3. So we're gonna roll these into balls, and then all we're gonna do is we're gonna get them covered and kind of let them hang out outside at room temperature for about half an hour. If you put them in the fridge, they actually kind of get hard to roll out because all that butter is kind of seizing up under the cold. We want it to stay covered in plastic wrap because then it's gonna keep hydrated, otherwise you get a sort of skin on them. Ball it up. You got nice little tortilla balls to go with your big 14-inch burrito tortilla. So we're gonna let these hang out, and while we're hanging out, we're gonna go ahead and make a spicy spread. And so we are gonna add mayonnaise. I always do a 2-to-1 mayonnaise to ketchup ratio. So we got our mayonnaise, we got our ketchup, we got a little bit of paprika, We're doing a little bit of garlic powder. We're doing a little bit of chipotle chili powder. That's gonna add some nice, that little smokiness. Then we're gonna add just a little bit of cumin. Cumin's a flavor. Even though it's not represented in actual Mexican cuisine a lot, it is in very Americanized versions, such as Taco Bell. So I'm gonna give that a nice stir. Oh, also, we got a little bit of ghost pepper hot sauce, just a teeny bit. Just like, you know, don't even worry about it. We're gonna mix that together. And then, of course, the last step to making a Thousand Island are pickles. You gotta chop up some pickles, but instead of that, we found some pickled habaneros that have been in our fridge for a year, at least a year. But that's good. That means they're just only intensifying. And so we're gonna take some of these. I'm gonna try a little bit. It's in the back of the tongue. That's really nice. We just need one of these. Why did I immediately get an itch in my eye? And on my left hand, I have covered in habanero, and my right, a knife. Which am I going to scratch with? Find out after the mid-roll. So we're gonna cut this off. It really gets you in the back of the... So we got some minced pickled habaneros that's gonna add a fun little flavor pop and a lot of heat. But honestly, you can stand a very, I was gonna say heaty instead of spicy. My mouth is foaming a little bit. We got this spread. I was gonna say, since you got so many other things, you got the potatoes, you got the beef, you got the cheese, you're doing some caramelized onions, got all those veggies. You can add a lot of heat with the actual condiment and it can hold up to the dish. Just give it a little, ooh. It's like Thousand Island with a little something extra. I call it 1001 Island. Yeah, you do it better! So we got our tortilla balls. They've been setting up. You can see they look nice and a little bit shiny. So all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna dust a surface. Oh, I should explain this thing. So this is a crepe maker. You can use a pan, but here's the problem. Tortillas aren't big enough. Pans certainly aren't big enough. You need like a big old griddle to grill tortillas. So I instead bought this $29 crepe maker on Amazon.com, not a sponsor. Point is, I like to use this to griddle my tortillas because it circles, and tortillas is circles as well. So I'm gonna go ahead. Tortillas, it circles. That should be the new slogan for tortillas. Whereas right now it's just tortillas. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna press this out. I like to start with my ball and then I like to round it out. Obviously tortillas are made with a press most times, but I found with a flour tortilla, I can get it extra thin if I just roll it out by hand, and nothing has ever bad happened to our rolling pin at all. And so that's good, so we have that. You wanna start rolling out from the middle outward, and you wanna get it as thin as possible. Occasionally, you wanna pick it up and kind of flip it. You wanna kind of shift over a couple inches sometimes when you're rolling tortillas for no reason. And then keep rolling out, and you'll feel it get a lot easier to roll out as you go on, and you're kind of working that dough a little bit more. Again, you want a perfect circle. We're gonna continue rolling out, and then one more time. Oh, no, shh. Hey, no, you're an all-star. Now this looks about big enough. So now I'm gonna try and cut a perfect freehand circle out of this. Huh? All right, so now we got big ol' honkin' 14-inch flour tortilla. And now I'm gonna take tortilla and flop it on our crepe maker. So I take it and I have to rotate it around consistently with my hands. It's gonna burn a little bit, but this way, as you see, it's dragging the uncooked edges up onto the pan. As long as you keep it moving and rotating, you'll get a perfectly cooked tortilla. This is actually the method that I use at home because I do this a lot. You want short little pitter patters with your hands to ensure that you don't burn off your fingertips, but if you do, you can get away with like any crime if you really think about it, because that's how they get you. So we got this tortillas. Hey, look at that. We made a total tortilla. We just want it cooked just so it's pliable to work with. That's hot. So now we got big ol' honkin' tortilla, and now we're gonna go ahead and make our mustard fried animal style burger patty to go in our In-N-Out Animal Style Crunchwrap Supreme with spicy habanero spread, brought to you by Taco Bell, Pizza Hut, and Pfizer. All right, so we have to make our burger patty. I'm just using a simple 80-20 ground beef. Figure In-N-Out, they're not using like the good, organic, fresh ground stuff. Why would I? Am I better than In-N-Out? Certainly not. I'm just gonna kind of get this into a ball, and then I'm gonna put this directly on the parchment paper. I really like forming my burgers on parchment paper because then I can just take the parchment and I go, ta-dow, and I slap it on the crepe maker. Also, you'll notice the return of the crepe maker. I'm making the burger on the crepe maker. Why? I like it more better. Whenever you're flipping burgers, I hate when you like have to dig the spatula down into the pan. You gotta get past the lip. So I like using this just as a griddle, and also it's got Teflon. That's never done bad to nothing. We got this burger flat. I like to kind of shore up the edges with my fingies. I'm gonna take a little bit of salt. Just do a little sprinkle on there. I'm gonna take a little bit of pepper as well. I've said at some point that I don't like griddling pepper because it burns it. Do as I say, not as I do, or also sometimes that I say and not do occasionally. That's a good rule of thumb to follow. That's one of my favorite things about the chef show with Roy Choi, where Roy Choi's making stuff and then Jon Favreau's just like, but you told me you should never add the cilantro in that step because it bruises it. And Roy Choi just goes like, who cares? And it's like, that's cooking! So we're just gonna get some oil down there. I'm gonna take a little bit of mustard, just a tiny bit, and we're just gonna smear that on top of our raw beef. Don't dip pretzels in this mustard later because I'm getting the beefs on the mustard. You can eat tartare. So we got the mustard smear, and now we're gonna do the old parchment splat, pat it in there. And then again, whenever you're doing parchment paper on top of a burger, you can let it sit there for a little bit, it's heat resistant. Sometimes you try and really rip it off, it's just gonna take some meat with it, but just a little bit of steam makes it come off nice and easy. And there you get a perfectly round, uniform burger. Season and mustard smear the other side. You can add the mustard, then the salt. You can add the salt, then the mustard, it don't matter. We got the burger, I'm gonna go ahead and flip it. Give it a 1, 2, boom! That's really fantastic. We still got a little bit of nice browning on that burger. That's what we wanted, but you still see the mustard is nice and mustard. You wanna keep your mustard, because sometimes mustard isn't mustard, but here, wow, look, it's yellows. Sometimes burgers has cheese on it, so I'm taking 2 slices of American cheese. Right after you flip it, you're gonna wanna add your 2 slices of American cheese. That way the steam from the griddle is actually gonna help melt the cheese. Poke it, it seems cooked. If you're cooking a big old thick burger, then I'd temp check it, you know, do the little press on your thumb, and if it feels like a human thumb, then it's a burger. But for this, we pretty much know it's cooked. So I'm just gonna pull it, got some beautiful browning on it, cheese is almost melted. We're gonna pop a hot hash brown on there. Now we're gonna get to assembling a crunch wrap. I like to get the extra juice. All right, let's go through a quick animal style checklist. We got our spread, we got our extra pickles, we got our mustard fried patty, we got our grilled onions. You didn't see me grill the onions, but you've seen me grill onions enough that you know how to do it. So I'm gonna take some of those onions and I'm just gonna splap them right on top of the burger. That is indeed the correct verb, it's a splap. So we have our tortilla. It's a little bit stiff right now because it's a room temp. That's why I only kind of par cooked it earlier, and I'm gonna slap it right back on the crate maker just to get it nice and pliable. Yeah, let's get it nice and pliable. Really, ow, ow, ooh. Whew, hey now. All right, there we go. Grill the other side a little bit, do a little DJ turntable. Tortilla is nice and pliable, look at that. So now we're gonna place that on the ground. We gotta work quick because the tortilla is getting less pliable by the minute. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna lay down, we got our burger, we got our cheese, we got our onions. So now we're gonna take our crispy tostada layer, which is actually a bunch of repurposed In-N-Out French fries, but then we're gonna take a whole lot of spread going on that. We gotta separate our hot and cold layers. I want a whole lot of spread to really soak into those veggies and get working in that potato. And then we're gonna go ahead and take a couple rounds of tomatoes, get 3 on there. And then we're gonna take pickles. Animal style burgers got extra pickles on them, so we're going extra pickles on our animal style crunch wrap. Gotta go fast. Someone get my time. I could be in a NASCAR pit crew. Oh, I don't like the exhaust though. My allergies start acting up. And now finally, we got a little bit of shredded, that shredded lettuce. Just nestle it right in there. It's not a silent T. No such thing. Silent letters are BS, man. All right, so now we're gonna take our tortilla. We're gonna do 6-pointed fold. This is where a large tortilla helps you because we're gonna get full coverage, so hopefully we don't have to griddle hot lettuce. Pinch the last one, and now we gotta flip it. Try not to get your knuckles. We're just gonna griddle it. This is a large baby. This is a heft. This is, wow. We're gonna let this griddle fold side down. We really want to hit it hard on those folds so it all kind of steams together. And so when you open it, hopefully you don't get any sort of seepage or any openage, as the Belgians say. We got that griddle, that's nice and golden brown. We're just gonna give it one more flip. And that's looking pretty gorgeous in my estimation. We gotta plate it, we're gonna slice it in half, then we're gonna plate it, and then we're gonna eat it and pull it in half with a slice. All right, this looks great, but let's see what it looks like on the inside. It's gonna go ahead and cut it open very gingerly. Oh, that's nice. Quick, short strokes. I can't see what it looks like because I pointed to the camera, but I got a little peek and I think it looks really good, but I don't know, I can't see. Should I do this and go like, whoa. Ah, look at that, it looks so good. This is very exciting for me, but it's even more exciting for the person who actually gets to eat it because I don't do that on the show, I guess, right? Do I not get to eat it? Ryan gets to eat it, and that's what's the most important part. Thanks, Ryan, for volunteering your services. I'm really excited for you. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna take our big old Mythical spork poon camera. Dude, how are we gonna do this?
Why don't we cut off a little piece and then I can put it on there.
Here, you hold the spork poon.
I'll hold this.
Spork me real quick. Okay. I'm gonna cut a little nugget.
Oh, hold on.
Yeah, there we go. But now I gotta load it onto the spork. Why? There's so much pomp and circumstance. All right, now I'm gonna step back. Yeah. That's called a protein-style animal style Crunchwrap. Just please pick that up with your hands and bite it, just for me.
Good one? Here we go.
I need this, Ryan. Oh, God, yeah. How's that? Tell me, Ryan. I need to know.
That is everything I wanted it to be.
Oh, my God, I want it.
It's a perfect combination
Tell me,
of
Ryan.
In-N-Out and Taco Bell.
Paint me a portrait with your words.
You're getting like a little bit of like a mustard coming through on the back end.
Write me a sonnet.
And the tortilla, like the freshness of the tortilla, I'm really glad you made this from scratch because it's very fresh tortilla.
Ryan's the one who told me I should make a tortilla from scratch and not just use a store-bought one for context. Ryan, thank you for complimenting me. That's all I've ever wanted in life. We're our own support system. We think it's important for men to be able to compliment each other openly and honestly. And thank you so much for stopping by the Mythical Kitchen. I'm in the weirdest stance right now. We got new recipes for you every Thursday. We got new episodes of our podcast every Wednesday, wherever you get your podcasts. Hit us up on social media, Instagram at Mythical Kitchen with hashtag Dreams Become Food, pictures of your mythical dishes. We'll see you next time. You can cook up your own feast while wearing the Mythical Kitchen apron, available now at mythical.com.